Hey, Tim Sykes here. Kind of a short video lesson tonight because I'm just exhausted, but there is a lot to go over to learn from every single day. Here's AURI. This was actually quite disappointing last week on Friday. This is why I want you to get in the habit of reviewing every single day. That's why I was so on top of Jack and Kyle and Matt last week, where, these are three of my newest millionaire students. They're, taking it a little easier. They're sizing down. But what the problem was with Jack was that he was leaving in the middle of the day, which is crazy for Jack. It's not crazy for anybody else, but that's crazy for Jack if you know his work ethic. So I had to call him out because when you leave in the middle of the trading day, when you're, as hardworking as he is, and I'm not saying everyone has to be like this, but he specifically is, where, in the past in December, when he was doing $200,000 a week and he had strep throat and mono, he still would not leave in the middle of the trading day to go see a doctor. Now he's not sick. He's not doing $200,000, a day or a week at all. And he's leaving in the middle of the day. So I had to call him out on that. Some people are like, you should be nicer to him. No, okay? I'm here to keep you guys in check. I want you all to be as successful as possible. Tim Grittani has an excuse. He's got a family. He's a family man. Beautiful. Jack has no family that he's taking care of all the time, okay? He just got a little, frankly frustrated. And that's why I'm doing this video, because it's okay to be frustrated. Whether you're Jack Kellogg, whether you're Tim Sykes, whether you're anybody, trading can be frustrating. Actually, leave a comment below this video and say that. Say, trading can be frustrating. Because it's not you. It doesn't mean that you're going to lose. It doesn't mean that it's impossible. It's just the reality sometimes. You should push it when it's not so frustrating, when there are a lot of opportunities. And when there's not as many opportunities for trading, there's still a lot of opportunities for learning. That's my whole point with Jack. He is welcome to go off into the sunset. He's made his millions of dollars. Fantastic. But he should still check in and learn. And, again, Jack Kellogg, very different than everybody else. He has a crazy, crazy work ethic. So I will go after people who I know have that work ethic and that potential, because, who knows what Jack can accomplish? Obviously 90% of traders lose, but he's already proven himself from just a few $1,000s to now 6+ million. If he sticks with it, if he stays dedicated, if he doesn't leave in the middle of the day to get Listerine, he might make 100 million in the long run. Okay? Anyways, on to AURI. Both Jack and I tried to buy this late day dip on Friday. Why am I talking about this? It's Monday. Why am I so focused on Friday? Because when this dip failed again and again and again, which is very unnatural, right? Like if this had been a few weeks ago, you would not have a stock drop 50% with no bounce. But because it couldn't bounce on Friday, it was not even a potential dip buy for me today. And some people were like, Tim, morning panic, day 2, you should be dip buying. No, I should not, because I adapt. I listen to what the market says, I study what the market tells me, and I adapt. Anybody who dip bought in the morning, okay, not the worst trade in the world, but you did not adapt. In case you were going out and buying Listerine in the middle of the trading day like Jack Kellogg and you missed it, newsflash, the market is not rewarding morning panic dip buys right now. So I'm not dip buying morning panics right now. What am I focusing on? Well, I'm focusing on morning spikes, because morning spikes have worked for me. The reason why I made over $60,000 plus last week is because I adapted. While trading can be frustrating, I've seen fast markets, I've seen slow markets, I adapt pretty damn well. I might not be, the most aggressive in bull markets, and I'm not necessarily the most aggressive in frustrating markets, but I am very flexible. And that is a big asset as a trader. My critics will say I'm too flexible. Like I'm long 1 minute, I'm not long the next minute. Like, again, most people in penny stocks are absolute morons, where they hold and they hope, they go down with the ship, they believe in these companies. If you read my best-selling book, An American Hedge Fund, once upon a time, I was naive too. I lost $500,000 plus of my own money, my entire credibility as a hedge fund manager. This was over 15 years ago, and I still remember that. So no, I do not believe in any company. If AURI or any other company fails to bounce after a 50% drop, I don't say, oh, wait a minute, let me try again. I say, no. Okay, Mr. Market, thank you for informing me. Thank you for educating me on what works and what doesn't work. By the way, big day for me, donated $1 million. Pretty awesome. I'll link this. You could read the whole article, but my partner and I on Karmagawa, my charity, Bad Boy is his name, Matt Abad. He's a great photographer. We started this charity. This was the Timothy Sykes Foundation, for everybody asking. But, you know, it's not about me. I don't need to have my name on schools or buildings or anywhere. You know, I already have enough of an ego. So we changed the name to Karmagawa because Matt is Filipino. In the Tagalog language, gawa means to do or to make. So we're basically making good karma. This is our third $1 million donation. You know, I donate 100% of my trading profits. The new DVDs all go to charity, and Matt also has designed a lot of charity merch. And 100% of the profits of that go to charity. So I'll link, you know, the article, and I'll link our charity merch. We appreciate every, you know, purchase, because it's not just about the money that goes to the charity when you wear the charity merch. It's actually pretty cool charity merch. It's recycled and sustainable, and frankly, it really helps spread awareness a lot about these topics. You know, again, I'm trying to cut through the BS in penny stocks. I'm trying to educate the realities of the penny stock world. I'm trying to cut through the BS in charity. This is just my hobby. You know, it's a very strange hobby. I don't wish this on anybody else to, you know, constantly want to clear the air and you know, give out good information. But for better or worse, this is what I love doing. So it's my honor to give back. We donated to food banks, animal shelters, and several new schools and libraries coming up. But also today, aside from the $1 million donation, $6,000 roughly in profits for me. Very, very, very frustrating. Lots of small losses, lots of, you know, just being wrong. Which for me, you know, I'm pretty flexible. I'm usually not this wrong this many times, but I was all over the place today. And so let me just go over it. TMSH was, you know, one of my first dip buys, and you know, this one had the nice morning spike. I missed it. I saw this secondary spike. And frankly, I missed that. So I was like, okay, let me get it on this drop. And it just wasn't happening. And by the way, all the morning spikers, BEGI, AABB, WSGF, all of them panicked, and they did not come back. Okay, so again, recognize what the market is telling us. You know, the one good thing I did on TMSH was I cut losses quickly. It was a small loss. My morning spike on BEGI, you know, this was fantastic, and I underestimated it. I was in basically from the 9s to the 11s, and it went, you know, it had a secondary spike, which I missed, to the 14, 15 area. And then it collapsed by day's end. Again, a lot of people would say, wow, Tim, like you should dip by this and hold first green day. No, you know, again, morning spikes have been fantastic. So I'm glad I profited, even though I took basically half of the potential profits. This was probably one of my best trades of the day. UAMM was also a good trade, where this one, I kind of outsmarted it for the first time, right? Like in the past, it's been very choppy. 13 has been resistance several times in a row. You know, not just over 3 days, but over 5 days, like literally once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, 6 times, 7 times. It could not break 13. So today, when it opened up at 13.5-ish, I was like, you're not going to fool me. But when it had a morning panic here, then I was like, okay, I think this has a chance to go back to 13, even though I didn't have enough patience for it to really break out. You know, I did catch this morning dip down here to the 11s, and it got back to the 13s and couldn't break out, so I got out. It actually did break out. So, you know, we can call this a draw. I was smart enough not to chase it at 13. I was smart enough to buy the dip here in the 11s, but I was not smart enough to actually hold for this awesome breakout to 16. But I take a victory away from that because I know a lot of people who chased it at 13 only to sell it at 11. So I sidestepped that mistake, and I took, some decent profits. Then I tried dip buying BEGI. Again, no follow-up breakout, so I got out, cut losses quickly. TMSH, this was a quick morning spike. Oh, I did capture this. My bad. I'm sorry. I'm so frazzled. I trade the same stock sometimes 2 or 3 times, and I captured this one quite nicely on the secondary spike. I missed the initial spike is what I meant. I missed this initial spike from 2 to 6, but I caught it in here on the dip, not right at the bottom of the dip, but on the way up, and I sold it pretty well. This was actually my best sell of the day. And again, this was me just recognizing where I was. Some people ask, like, how did I know to sell in the 7s? When you make 20, 30, 40% on a trade, I just take it. I don't sit around and wait. Sometimes that causes me, to miss out on opportunities, but a lot of the time I just lock it in. Then I have my worst trade of the day. This is when things started to get nasty for me. You see, I was in on this spike right here, which, I bought it at one of the worst times. I thought that this could really go. If you look back a few weeks, a few months, KNOS was one of my biggest winners on a stocks to trade breaking news alert. So I'll always try to trade it when it starts spiking with big volume and news. They have a SPAC, a Dogecoin related SPAC. I thought that it could go. If you look at, the daily chart, it was a potential big first green day. This was the last big stocks to trade breaking news winner that it had. And I was, 100% dead on there. And with stocks to trade breaking news, when you're trading fast breaking news, like, you don't sit around and wait. Like, usually the breaking news plays are not dip buys for me. The problem with this one, I don't mind my buy, but this was an unacceptable, overstay. And it's, I only lost like a penny a share. So you're like, come on, Tim, it's okay. You didn't even lose 10%. But I had the chance to cut losses quicker. Sadly, this was right when the $1 million charity gift PR article came out and everyone started messaging me. I got distracted. I got to be real about it. And when everyone starts messaging me and, there's a whole team behind me on the charity foundation, I might, make the announcements. It's the majority of my money, but we have a whole team and everyone's really excited. So when we, make $1 million donation, it's a lot of hard work put together, from the charity merch, talking with all the different charities, coordinating. So that was my bad that I took my eye off this one. And by the time I got back, I was like, damn, $2,000 loss. And, it could have been worse. I mean, it finished under 10, so it could always be worse. But I could have probably cut this, in half. Probably could have been like an $800 to $1,000 loss had I been paying closer attention. CLIS was another one where, this one I missed the stocks to trade breaking news alert. They absolutely nailed it right in here. And then I was trying to dip buy it into this choppiness here. And it was just so choppy. It was midday. It was a little bit of FOMO, fear of missing out, because, again, this was happening right when, my $1 million donation article came out. So my messages are just flying all over the place. And I missed it. And this was a fantastic stocks to trade breaking news alert. But you got to be quick sometimes. They bought an NFT company. This is a former runner. And, on the news, literally, it came out from 29 to 39 in 3 minutes. So you had to be quick, and I wasn't quick enough. So I tried to get it on, a dip buy right in here around 30. And as you can see, it was just choppy. It did bounce a little bit into the close. I mean, this is a nice little 20% bounce, but, I'm not looking for like an afternoon bounce. And frankly, I just shouldn't have been trading it. There was too much going on. Look, I'm just like so frustrated with myself. I'm like out for small losses. I'm trading terribly. Into timeout I go. So I put myself into timeout. I came back out of timeout to trade LEAF because TKAT is the leader of the NFT plays. They have the whole art gallery and art websites, and even after hours. I mean, it's just surging from 48 to the 60s. Props to anybody who had the patience here. Leaf also owns an art gallery, Saatchi Art, and this one had just gone, red to green on the day, and I was like, okay, I've been watching Leaf. This is kind of like I like buying like the run to the litter in like a hot industry. I don't like chasing TKAT. So I dip bought LEAF. Oh, by the way, before I forget, I'm going to post 3 links. One link to the $1 million charity donation article, which I'm proud of. Second link will be the Kamigawa charity merch. Again, I'd appreciate anybody who gets it. Post pictures, videos of yourself, tag me, I'll repost it. We're all trying to spread awareness about these issues. And then the third link, I'm doing an all-day live trading event this coming Friday on the 26th. I'm going to be joined by Matt Monaco. Very excited about that. So I'll post a link if you want in on that. But that's going to be all day. And look how tired I look. Like I just filmed this video just doing too much, like too many trades. Probably spending too much time on my charity, but I love it, right? So some people are like, come on, take it easy. Like, yeah, Costa Rica, I get it, but there's also things I want to accomplish in life, right? Like for me, I don't want to just announce the $1 million donation to charity. Like I'm not doing this just to look good like most people in charity do. Like I'm paying attention. I'm very meticulous with every single dollar that we donate. There's a lot of charities out there that want funding, and I'm just not rich enough to give money to everybody, and frankly some charities don't deserve it. So I have to weed all that stuff out. So some people are like, come on Tim, focus. Like, I'm sorry, I love what I do, and I just wish I had more time. Anyways, LEAF, red to green, TKAT wannabe sympathy play, and it had a chance to go and it just couldn't get enough volume. And it couldn't stay green. I don't mind this trade. I lost a few $100s, and I stuck to my rules. I said cut losses if it can't hold green on the day, and it could not hold green on the day, so I cut losses. Would have been worse had I been stubborn. So even though I have some losses here, some losses were better than others. It's not just about the dollar loss. It's did you stick to your plan? Were you disciplined, or did you get distracted? That's how you have to judge. And then DRNK was another stocks to trade breaking news. They tweeted about reducing the number of shares, and they're going to be all up to date with their filings. I'm really not a fan of sub penny stocks, but when the company tweets after 3 p.m., oftentimes the momentum from some late day tweet or late day news can carry over into the next day. DRNK is a former runner. Like this is a strong breakout day, but didn't really do as much as I wanted. I thought that it could retest the highs. It had already hit, I think, 4.1 or 4.2. I got it on a dip at like 3.7. I thought that I could get back to 4.1 or 4.2. And if you get back to 4.1 or 4.2, I thought that it could break out to 4.3, 4.4, or 4.5. No dice. Could not get back to the fours. It was hanging around the high threes, and I was just like, screw it. I don't need to hold this overnight. Lately my best play has been morning spikes. So again, me knowing about morning spikes working best for me, that helps me avoid morning panic plays that aren't working that great. And it helps me choose good plays or bad plays overnight, right? So right now my focus is tomorrow, what stocks will morning spike? And, I don't know. I mean, it's all going to be based on the news and the volume. That's what usually causes morning spikes. But I know enough not to take a speculative play like DRNK overnight, right? Like if this was a different market where I'm not focused on morning panics or morning spikes, and let's say OTC first green days are working the best, then I would hold DRNK overnight. Like people want these answers, that don't adapt to different markets. They're just like, okay, do I always hold this play or do I not hold this play? And I'm like, well, it depends on the market, all the indicators in trader checklists, I use them. So right now, I don't want to have any overnight plays because I'm focused on morning spikes. Just like I didn't want any overnight plays, a few weeks ago because I was focused on morning panics. There's only so much I can do at the open where I'm trying to trade. I'm trying to type out the alert, and these stocks move extra fast right at the open. So This is how I look at these trades. It's not bad to make $6 grand in a day. I'm grateful for the money because I donate all of this to charity. So this just, it keeps going. And I'm glad to build schools and help more animals. But at the same time, so many frustrating trades, a lot of losses, probably over trading a little bit. I'm going to try to be a little more disciplined tomorrow. But again, morning spikes have been working best for me. So that's going to be my focus today. Leave a comment below this. Say that trading is frustrating if you understand that. And again, I'll post a bunch of links. And if you want to join me all day Friday, along with Matt Monaco, click the link and you can hear me talk all day long and you'll hear me make some crazy analogies and half my jokes won't even connect. See you tomorrow in chat. Cheers.